I want to thank all of us for coming here. Honor is done me, God is glorified. I am elated. I have also written a speech so that even if I don't talk, I will just pass this. It's 26 pages. I want to thank all of us who have gathered here today to make history. I also want to thank my colleagues. I am a guest speaker, but I am also a planner. I thank my colleagues who found me the least among their list to stand here to address this august audience, to talk to in a place where I have my fathers. So I feel that I'm in safe hands, so that even if I make a mistake, my mistake will not be turned into an error. I will have those who will correct me. I want to thank our pro-Biafran groups who decided to implement this prayer that some of us have prayed for several years, the unity of those in the quest for Biafra. Some have not come, but I know that our doors, in fact, we don't have a door again. We have removed the hinges and the doors are open. We are waiting for anyone who is prepared to join this train. I have come today so that we can all naked ourselves. There was a Biafra named Adam, they call him Adam in the Bible, who disobeyed the law of his God, and he went and sowed leaves and covered his nakedness, without realizing that those leaves have been detached from their source, and that in a very short while they would dry up and fall off his waist. Today, I have come so that we can undress ourselves before ourselves, and then clean up ourselves, and then get ready for the right covering. Because for God to cover Adam in the Bible, he had to sacrifice an animal so that he can take the skin and cover him. I believe that today we have a lot of sacrifices to make. Sacrifice our positions, sacrifice our status, sacrifice our resources, like Ogrishibu has done by asking us to come here free of charge. We need to also sacrifice our lives if need be. Today, I have a book that is titled Creating a Process and Not a Mandate. The indispensability of the political, the legal, and the diplomatic approaches to the self-determination of Biafrans. Pelé, greatest player of football in the world, once said that football is played 90% mentally and only 10% with the leg. If we must win this battle, we must outthink our opponents. We always associate ourselves with the Jews, but the truth is that the only place where we are related to the Jews is in the level of suffering that we have suffered in all the places where Ndibo have sojourned. But we have not emulated the Jews in giving opportunity and raising think tanks and raising people who will think for them and who will mobilize and galvanize them after they have studied what they have taught. So today, I am hoping that we will be able to do some thinking in a short while. Already I don't have time. I speak for 4 hours at the least without drinking water, normally when I go to speak at anywhere. But today, I am being told to speak for 15 minutes, so I will try to play God by speaking for 15 minutes. Where most of you came from is shorter and closer than me. I came all the way from Abakaliki and I must still return today. Friends and neighbors, it was Dean Emeka Ojukwu that said on January 16, 1970, he said, as a people, we have endured as only giants endure. We have fought as heroes fight. We have dared as only gods dare. We are disillusioned by the world's insensitivity towards the plight of our people. But I believe that because our cause is just, I believe that Biafra has not lost the war, only that the battlefields have changed. Biafra was born out of the blood of innocents, sacrifice in Nigeria during the pogrom of 1966. Biafra can never be defeated by mere forces of arms. Let me cut it. But the reason why I'm giving these quotes is because of what is contained inside. He said, I believe that the battlefields have changed. Remember, the word fields is emphasized. 2 years ago, a member of the American House of Reps, Honorable Robert K. Donnan, he was in the House of Reps in America from 1977 to 1997, 20 years. And he said, and I quote, he said, I say that the Biafrans have known suffering and death. And as one, a responsible man that saw that Holocaust, and as a responsible man of a Christian man of honor, I add my voice to all those who are asking, who are seeking an internationally recognized referendum on the future of Biafra, unquote. But I have come here today to let us know that all the efforts that we have made in the past 19 years, from 1999, have passed a stage. It has passed a phase, and it is time for us to step into another phase. One of the greatest physicists of the world, Albert Einstein, once said that it is not difficult to find somebody who is insane, somebody who is mad. Just keep doing the same thing over and over and expect to get a different result. You will be branded a madman. We have come here today so that we can let ourselves know that we are not crazy, that we are not mad. That's why we have gathered here. So that we can see and think about ourselves. I don't get it that we are here talking about Biafra and about how to realize Biafra, and somebody who is less Biafran or who is not even a Biafran is sitting down in government house. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me that somebody who is talking about Biafra has relinquished his position and listening to Grishibo talking. Bring your investments. Nobody's going to bring anything without political policy. It was political policy that made sure that we don't have ports again in Port Harcourt, in Opobo, and in Bonny. Political decisions will determine how far will we go in this struggle. I want to ask you to imagine a situation where Professor Chido Sagu is the governor of Anambra, Imo State or Abia State. And Uchenna Madu has been representing his people in the House of Assembly in Imo State. There are certain decisions that nobody will take, even if you have two heads. It will be opposed and he will stand against it. 3 governors voted for Operation Python Dance. 2 voted against it. And that's why it took place. If those governors didn't vote, it will not happen. I don't care if the federal government has intercontinental ballistic missile. A German philosopher, Bertolt Brecht, said, the worst illiterate is the political illiterate. He takes no part in politics. He sees nothing, he hears nothing. He even speaks out his chest and says, I hate politics. But he does not know that the price of beans is controlled by political. I will cut it because I said there are plenty to be said. I used to give this example. 3 Jews were instrumental to the atomic bomb. Sakharov was a Russian Jew. Einstein was an American Jew. Heisenberg was a German Jew. With Enrico Fermi, they developed the atomic bomb. But it took one politician called Harry Truman to order that that bomb be dropped at Hiroshima and Nagasaki, August 6, 1945, August 9, 1945, August 10, Japan surrendered and the Second World War ended. If Harry Truman had not given that instruction, all the exagitations of these scientists will remain an idea inside a laboratory. I have come here to ask us, in Anambra State there are 2 million voters, but every election less than 500,000 votes. There is 1.5 million people who are not voting and who are sulking, who have relinquished their political territory to people who are playing agency roles for the caliphate and for the Yoruba oligarchy, and they are all complaining. On the day of the election, 100,000 people comes out to vote and 10,000 votes for the winner. And the winner wakes up one morning and gives an instruction. Nobody comes out. Even if you are Ikedife, you won't go out. Why? Because somebody is determining what takes place in your territory. Can you imagine this? If we are able to convince those people, if we are able to get them through and tell them that Engineer Tony Anebwe, this is what you are going to go and get for us. If you don't get it, the same way you in a government house, and put another person. That's what I told Nnamdi Kanu on May 8th, 2017, when I met him. I told him, I said, do you know we can determine what happens? How the texture and the character of our place will be. If we go and get somebody without political power, we will be wasting time running around in a circle. If we are able to convince 0.5 million of the 1.5 million Anambrarians that have not been voting to come out and put, I don't know who is from Anambra here, maybe in Dubisa and Enugu, put him inside government house. I already know him. Dr. Dozie Kedive has, I've been praying every day. I say, God, this man is nearing the departure lodge. The highest he will live now is another 50 years. If he goes, Lord, have you given us a replacement? Old as he is, he stays standing. You need men. You need men of character, competence, capacity, commitment, and charisma to take over this territory, so that we can use it and implement what we want. Look at what is taking place at the Catalonia. Despite the fact that they were able to do what they are doing, those who are talking about referendum, there cannot be a referendum in Biafran land in this day, 30th May 2018, even if they ask you to take it. In any case, nobody asks anybody to take a referendum. I have studied referenda from 1973 in Northern Ireland to Catalan in 2017. Nobody ever tells anybody. The UN has no rights. Nigeria has no rights. The ECOWAS, AU has no right. Nobody has a right to tell us to go and do a referendum. The only people who can do a referendum are the people that want to conduct that referendum, and they will pass the relevant laws to enable them conduct that referendum. Because even if we conduct a referendum and will become an independent state, Biafra will not be a pariah state. Biafra will still unite with other countries that are around, including Nigeria. We will still be there. Otherwise, there will continually be guerrilla war. But we must participate in such a way that what we are doing will be legal sanctioned by the world, because we live in a world that is dictated by laws, by conventions, by statutes, by all manner of international convention. So we have to participate. That's why Biafra has a good case, but the world is waiting for us to do what is right. If we do what is right, the world has no choice. They don't have a choice. They will do what we ask them to do. I was reading the statement made by Charles de Gaulle on September 8, 1968, when he was making a statement, a categorical statement on the Biafran Nigerian conundrum. And he said, what will Nigeria be after now? He said the French have stopped short of doing what is needful. What is that thing needful? Official recognition. He said we are waiting for the African states to take the lead. How many political leaders know that we have a constitution that is a yoke? A constitution that is like a glass, that put us in a glass cage. One of the greatest and best things ever done in the Biafran struggle is the activities of BVI Human Rights Initiative. Under the direction of the Supreme Council of Elders, the Vice Chairman is here, who directed that they should go and sue the federal government on behalf of the Supreme Council of Elders and the other Biafrans who survived the war of Holocaust and pogrom. Go and sue on their behalf. And they went and sued on their behalf. And they will come to a Nigerian court. And you will hear indigenous people of Biafra versus Nigeria. They now began to call it officially in a Nigerian court. In 1990, the Senate, they don't know what other bill to pass. They decided to pass a bill changing the bite of Biafra into the bite of Bonny. And when I heard it, I laughed. I was at the University of Lagos. I laughed. I said, look at these people. You think you can remove a river by building a bridge across the river? Friends, I have asked us to come and do some thinking so that we can channel our strengths to where it will give birth. I don't like dissipating energy. We can sit down at home till the year 3000, and unless we do what is proper, the sitting down at home simply indicates one thing. We 99% want to be Biafra, but they don't know. The question is how? How do we get it? Do we get it by running around the streets? That is why there is an indispensable need to employ diplomacy, both within and outside Nigeria. Diplomacy within the Nigerian states. You must find people who will implement your own policies. I told you it's only me time. I'm just in the introduction. Amen. All right. I am in a hurry to get more than you. The truth, let me explain what I'm saying. I was talking about the Constitution before. Thomas Jefferson said something. He said, the two enemies of the people are criminals and the government. He said, so we must tie the second with the chains of the Constitution so that the second does not become a legalized version of the first. That is why if you want to move your leg, they say it's federal. You want to move your street, they say it's federal. Because they have yoked us with a 58th exclusive list in the Constitution. And we are not doing anything to collapse it. As long as we don't do anything about it, they will be doing things that are legal, and the international community will look at it and they will say it is according to their law, without knowing that the law originally is a yoke. And they put it around our neck. So don't blame President Buhari. He's implementing Sadwana Sokoto's battle script. 11 days after Nigeria independence, the Sadwana called his henchmen in Kaduna, and they said, and I quote, "The new nation called Nigeria should be an estate of our great-grandfather, Ottoman Danfodio. We must ruthlessly prevent any change of power. We use the minority in the north as willing tools and the south as a conquered territory. We must never allow them to rule over us. We must never allow them to have control over their future." 60 years after, we are not being allowed to go to farm. And you think that they started it today. They started it long ago. Programmed, packaged, and delivered. And so we need to go inside and outthink them. We need to find a way of making friends with at least 2 of the veto powers. That is why it doesn't make sense for anybody to wake up and say, we don't need Britain, we don't need UN. It is infantile talk. It is the talk for people in the beer parlor who do not even know how to drink beer very well and control their own drunkenness. It is a time for us to think about our future, about our tomorrow. We cannot extricate ourselves if we do not get ourselves into the right type of movement, into the right type of process. Biafra is not a mandate given to some people to go and get. Biafra is a process that all of us are going to be engaged in so that we can be able to realize it. It does not matter what they think about us. I don't have time to begin to tell you what they have said about us. They have said that before. They have said that in 1960. They have said that in 1944 when they said that all these Southerners seeking political unity must first of all accept Islam as their religion. Unquote. 1944. 1942. A meeting of Northern Emirs finished and they issued a communique. And they said, and I quote, "Holding this country together is not possible except by the means of the religion of the prophets. If they want political unity, let them follow our religion." Unquote. 1942. They didn't start today. It's not about what they have said before. It's not about what Keita said when Jonathan was about to contest. He said anything short of a northern president is tantamount to stealing our presidency. If the PDP, if Goodluck Jonathan uses incumbent power to get nomination by the PDP, we will frustrate him out. We will make the country ungovernable. Unquote. This is battle script. Somebody stood in the House of Representatives and said that what is happening in Niger Delta is sheer criminality and that they can afford to kill 20 million Niger Deltans so that the remaining 140 million will enjoy the oil. What they used to compensate him is to send him back as leader of Senate. Bala Ibn Nala. I'm not interested in those statements. Let them say it. Let them do it. But the reason why we have remained like this is because we have refused to do what is right. We have refused to do what is proper so that we can push and channel this case. The world is waiting for us to bring a cause before the Biafrans. It has been done separately by separate groups. It has been done by Southeast Elders Council. At least I saw the one that Dr. Zeke read to us in the meeting. It has been done by Masop. It has been done by IPOB. But we have not done it as a we. And we need to do it as a we. Finally, before I go, the final, you know, every good preacher, I'm a preacher, every good preacher closes 3 times, sorry. No, 3 times. But this one is the last finally. Friends and neighbors, I beg you, I have spent 20-something years of my life doing research on the structure of the international community and how people can liberate themselves. In 1920, the League of Nations says, no new nation can come from another nation by the mere expression of a wish. They didn't say you cannot come out, but it doesn't happen because you wished it. It doesn't happen because you prayed for it. I pray like Martin Luther King Jr., but I also hit the streets. I also hit back to do some thinking like the 4 lepers who sat in the book of 2 Kings chapter 7 and began to ask themselves question. Why do we sit down here? Do we go back inside? Do we stay at this gate or do we go forward? If hungry, abandoned lepers can think, friends and neighbors, we can do some thinking. Let us do some thinking. Let us outthink our enemies. Let us think on behalf of our whose process we will follow. It may be slow, but it will be sure. There is no way that we can go and snatch Biafra like a bolt out of the blue, like Usain Bolt in 18.85 seconds, and just dash off. It is not going to happen unless we plan. My body is shaking.